I never thought that I would be giving a keynote like this. But like many of you, I've spent the last 4 months mostly at home due to the global pandemic created by COVID-19. In times like this, one looks for things to be grateful for. I'm grateful that I belong to this global BRM community. As a member of the board of directors, I witness how our BRM Institute team, led by Aaron Barnes, have persevered in spite of all the challenges thrown at them, sustaining the Institute forward. And even more inspiring, the Institute continues to innovate and evolve. This BRMConnect virtual conference is a testament to their quest to satisfy purpose and bring us all together. Thank you, BRM Institute. My name is Glenn Remoreras, Chief Information Officer of Mark Anthony Group. The Mark Anthony Group of companies is one of North America's most diversified and successful private beverage companies focused on alcohol beverage sector. BRMConnect, compared to other conferences, is unique because of its storytellers. Here in this conference, connecting and building relationships is our mission. Storytelling is an integral part of how we share knowledge and experiences and how we connect with other people. As a storyteller, how do you find great stories to tell? You start by asking questions. What inspired you to be BRM? How did you find your purpose? What's your biggest aha moment? They may seem like straightforward questions, but finding relevant stories is a matter of responding to questions like this. I have been a CIO for just barely 3 months, and it's been an amazing ride already. My story as CIO is still being written. As a storyteller in this BRMConnect, this is the question that I asked myself. How did BRM impact my journey? How did BRM impact my journey? Well, here it is. I began volunteering in 2013, the year BRM Institute was established. It was my way of giving back and supporting the global BRM community. Little did I know that this experience would transform me as a technology professional, as an individual, and as a leader. Through BRM, I found my purpose and built lasting relationships. BRM changed my mindset that strengthened my leadership capacity. These are the themes that I would like to talk about today. Purpose, relationship, mindset, and leadership. How I ended up in a technology career and ultimately a CIO came from an unusual turn of events. This was not supposed to be. When I was growing up, my dream was to have a successful career in finance and accountancy, working for the biggest conglomerate in my home country, the Philippines. This company, which happens to have alcoholic beverages as their flagship product, is the San Miguel Beer Corporation. As a kid, that was my goal. And after high school, I got accepted to one of the best finance and accountancy programs in my country. And I was ready to get started on my dream. In 1993, my parents went to Manila, where the university is located, to enroll me. I stayed home for the summer. In those days, you had to physically enroll at the university, and my parents did that for me. Soon after, I got a call from my mom, and she said, "We forgot your birth certificate at home, and it's a mandatory requirement for enrollment." To cut the story short, I lost my accountancy slot, which was a quota program, and was relegated to information technology. I got into the program thinking I will shift the following semester. But here I am, still in IT 27 years later. Ironically, my younger brother is a finance manager in San Miguel today. He's very happy, but I can't imagine doing what he does. I am happy where I am, where I'm supposed to be. I told the same story in 2018 at the BRMConnect in San Diego for my keynote on finding your purpose. I also shared a framework that I use to find my purpose, centered around reflection and action of three concepts: story, beliefs, and aspirations. Story is the context of who you are. It's your personal journey. Your story evolves as you go through life and professional experiences. Your stories shape who you are. Beliefs is what you believe in. Your ideology will give you the compass you need to remain consistent and likable over time. It drives your behavior and mindset. And lastly, aspiration is what you want to become. It is an idealistic view of what you want to be. This is one of my favorite quotes on aspiration. Aspirations is the ability to dream about the future while being inspired in the present to reach those dreams, by Dr. Russell Quaglia. I have seen that deep reflection and determined action on one's story, beliefs, and aspiration is when purpose finding becomes self-sustaining and powerful. Deep reflection can sustain inspiration for your purpose, but without action, it can't sustain itself. Without action, the purpose is just an inspiration. In San Diego, I called out my aspirations and my dreams to become CIO. Visualizing your goals and desires solidifies your intention. Solid intention opens your heart and mind to the people, resources, and the help needed to realize them. There is an amazing power in visualizing your intention. It is the start of action. With this experience, finding purpose for me is reflecting and acting on my stories, beliefs, and aspiration. And you do it over and over. That's how you find your purpose. I started to venture into some serious blogging in August 2009. Hard to imagine, 11 years ago already. I would say that my venture into blogs was a success. I was working for Cemex, a global building materials company at the time. I remember attending a town hall meeting hosted by Cemex USA's executive vice president in our office in Florida. His name is Ira Fialco. After his talk, Ira came from way up front and walked to me at the end of the meeting and said, "Hey, I read your blog. I love it." Ira, at the time, was the boss of my boss's boss. So you can just imagine what it was like for me. That started a mentor-mentee relationship that continues to this day. Months after, I met Von Merlin online. At first, we were just collaborating and engaging with each other through our respective blogs. Von, as many of you know, is one of the co-founders of the BRM Institute. That simple collaboration led to emailing and to a phone call. In one phone call, Von told me, "If you ever need anything or would like advice or talk about IT, you can call me anytime." Excited, I looked at his website. Von is a sought-after management consultant. I got myself free consulting, a mentor, and a friend. Von invited me to join the Institute in 2013 as one of the founding members. A year after, I took on a role at Constellation Brands as Vice President BRM. The executive recruiter discovered me through the Institute with Aaron Barnes' recommendation. This year, I was in countless calls with many of my mentors to explore this CIO opportunity I had. There are many others who I learned from in my vast relationship network. Ibrahim Jackson, Sheila Smith, Arnie Witherall, Roy Youngman, Peter Lynch, Aaron Monroe, Sergio Sarate, Kip Fanta. I could go on and on and on. This is the strength of my BRM community that has been so good to me manifested in the strength of my relationships. This to me is an example of accessing infinite value through relationships. If I take a moment and think about the best work relationship I've had and picture them in my mind, I think about these people. In a great relationship, individuals invest in each other. They become partners, mentors, and friends. I'm fortunate that before the pandemic, I was able to travel back home to the Philippines to celebrate my father's 70th birthday. Before my trip, I reached out to the head of my hometown alma mater to pitch an idea. I wanted to spend time giving back to my old high school by speaking to the upcoming high school graduates. I spoke in an auditorium full of graduating students for an hour, sharing steps to a purpose-driven career. But my favorite part of the day was when the students spontaneously sang a happy birthday song for my father when I introduced him. I used to view leadership mainly from the perspective of it as an exercise of power performed by particular individuals in leadership positions. To me, those were the individuals with leadership traits and behavior. Goal-oriented, driven, and focused, I personally aspired to those leadership positions. I pushed myself every step of the way. I was successful at it, and it got me to a certain point. Then I got stuck for a few years. In fact, in 2009, I strongly considered investing time and money to attend a premium MBA, thinking it was a career booster or my way up the leadership chain. I seriously looked at several programs and researched options and did my financial analysis. I remember consulting my mentor Ira, and immediately he commented that I could be mortgaging my future. He said, "Knowing you, I believe you can achieve your goal just working out your strengths." That advice struck me like a bolt of lightning. Immediately, I realized that my mindset was wrong. I realized that what I needed to do is to expand my network, connect, and engage. One way to expand your network is to give your time, to volunteer, and to mentor others. Giving back, you receive. You sharpen your knowledge by learning from others, and you find mentors. My renewed resolve to focus on others and add value to them inspired me even more. It eventually increased the energy of those I partnered with and the teams I led. I volunteered and led various teams at the Institute, doubled down on mentoring others, and energized me, and I learned a lot in the process. I gave back when I can, where I can. Look for opportunities to give your time to others and volunteer. In my experience, the return will surprise you. Instead of MBA, BRM became my accelerator. I learned that the most important shifts anyone must make to become a leader is from a soloist to a conductor, from a soloist to an orchestrator, from a soloist to magic in the middle. You can be a successful person on your own, but not a successful leader. I wanted to be a successful leader. I saw the essence of leadership in a more practical way. I saw leadership as a practice rather than residing in the traits and behavior of particular individuals. I realized the potential of driving leadership that is convergent, collaborative, collective, and compassionate. This is a photo from my Philippine trip early this year, and it's obvious that I had so much fun. That's me in the picture jumping into the Ulut River. Ulut is monkey in our local dialect, so it's Monkey River. We rode a wooden boat called Torpedo Boat, powered by a 16 horsepower engine allowing the boat to cut through rapids more quickly at a speed of 160 kilometers per hour. We get to a point where we can jump into the river and get swept away several hundred meters and eventually cling into a rope to safety. I did this jump twice. You know that feeling when you're determined to do something and you're really excited about it, but you're kind of scared at the same time? You're ready to take action, but you keep finding excuses because of fear. Maybe it's because you're telling yourself that it might not work, or you're not confident about what you know. You're afraid of what other people will think or say about you. Maybe you experienced failure before. Every single one of these thoughts and feelings is driven by fear. Your mindset is something that you can shift if you're dedicated to understanding why you feel a certain way at any given time. When I jumped into the Ulut River, I was scared, but I was also determined to jump. When I talk about breaking through fear, I don't mean the absence of uncertainty. But now I'm able to, and you can too, embrace the fear and break through it as a result. BRM taught me 2 ways to break through fear by changing your mindset: community and language. Community, surround yourself with the right people and use language to cultivate the right mindset. Surrounding yourself with the right people on your journey makes all the difference. For me, it all began with a declaration in 2018 at the BRMConnect in San Diego. There I shared that I aspired to become CIO. I believe that visualizing your goals and desires solidifies your intention. Solid intentions opens your heart and mind to the people, resources, and help needed to realize them. Having support is unparalleled, because when you feel like you can take the next step, when you're doubting yourself, your capabilities, and fearful that what you have to say won't matter, my BRM community was there for me to move me forward and break through. The language we use to talk to ourselves and to others can shift how we think, feel, and perform. It can be something so simple that we often overlook it. For language is the lens into one's behavior, meaning the words you use to communicate are the precursor to your actions. Through the process of advancing BRM capabilities and philosophies, BRM changed the way I speak IT. This internal shift in language usage began a mindset cultivation process, which then caused my approach to life, business, and leadership to change. When we first assembled collective knowledge on BRM for the first body of knowledge in 2013, it centered around the frameworks, processes, and competencies to support BRM as a role and organizational capability. Looking back, I'm still in awe of how much we have accomplished. We did not end there. BRM continues to evolve with the contributions and experiences from our community. The great thing about BRM community and its leaders is its openness and boldness to evolve. Last year's conference centered around BRM philosophy, and this year we continue to develop the framework and practice of relationship-centered organizations. To be honest, I struggled to grasp the concept of BRM as a philosophy when we started discussing this concept at the board meeting in San Diego. I got stuck with the old paradigm focused on core BRM, the perspective of BRM as a role and a capability. As I reflect on the topic of my keynote, how my CIO journey began with BRM, I ended up with the realization that eventually became the theme. Through BRM, I found my purpose, built lasting relationship. BRM changed my mindset and strengthened my leadership capacity. Mindset, relationship, purpose, and leadership. I realized that what propelled my journey to be CIO is BRM as a philosophy, BRM as a mindset, as a value system, as a purpose driver. I came full circle with BRM philosophy. Business and organizational challenges have intensified due to the major impact of COVID-19 pandemic. When such challenges intensify, you and your company may need to redesign strategies, merge or dissolve businesses, find new channels for your products, reimagine work and go-to-market tactics. These big challenges have no easy answers. Perhaps even more difficult, the solution to challenges like these don't reside only in the executive suite. Solving them requires the involvement of people throughout your organization, leveraging employees' collective intelligence and capability. This can be done through the strength in relationships. 2020 has been full of obstacles, tragedies, and challenges. As we go through this unprecedented time, we find our resilience, our connections, and our relationships are the best things that we have. I think about the medical workers, doctors, nurses, and caregivers who have been helping humanity face coronavirus in the last few months. What they are doing is caring for fellow human beings at their moment of greatest vulnerability. To me, it's powerful and inspiring. This is the time that we need more relationship-centered groups of people, families, teams, organizations. Take a moment and think about the best work relationships you've ever had. Picture that person or that team in your mind. Think about what you have accomplished together, the fun you had, and the creative sharing and mutual growth. Now imagine that same kind of relationship existed between you and everyone in your immediate team, your partners, your peers. What could you get done? Nothing will stop you to evolve culture, build partnership, drive value, and satisfy purpose. This is the purpose of BRM. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please join me for the live Q&A following this session. If you're not able to join, you can engage in the chat or message me through the SpotMe platform. You can also reach me by my email at gremoreras@gmail.com. Thanks again.